This is the moment a convicted felon with an AR-15 was arrested at the world's busiest airport. He was live streaming his plan to shoot it up. A single phone call from his family stopped a massacre. But the story of how he got that gun is not a story about one bad guy. It is a story about a safety system so full of holes it looks like Swiss cheese. And it reveals how terrifyingly easy it is for the worst people to get their hands on the worst weapons. Meet Billy Joe Cagle, 49 years old, and a convicted felon. He drove to the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, but he was not there to catch a flight. His family, in a complete panic, had called the police. Their warning, Cagle was on social media, right now threatening to turn the airport into a war zone with an AR-15. That one call launched an all-hands-on-deck scramble. Cops used a photo from the family and spotted Cagle casing the TSA security checkpoint. No drama, no shootout. But inside his truck, parked just a stone's throw from a terminal that sees 250,000 people on a slow day. They found the rifle and 27 rounds of ammo. The police chief figured Cagle was on his way back to his truck to grab the gun when they intercepted him. He later said, "We are here today briefing you on a success and not a tragedy, because a family saw something and said something, and he is right. We got lucky. A catastrophe was avoided by a thread." But that leaves a terrifying question. How did a man legally barred from owning a butter knife get his hands on an AR-15 and get so close to unleashing hell? On paper, the law is a brick wall. Convicted felons cannot buy or own guns. Licensed gun dealers have to run every single buyer through the FBI's background check system. That is the heavily guarded front door. But in states like Georgia, there is a back door, and nobody's watching it. It is called the private sale loophole. If I want to sell you a rifle, I do not need to run a check. I do not need to do anything. You can buy a rifle from a total stranger at a gun show or from a classified ad online with a handshake and a wad of cash. It is a massive, unregulated shadow market that operates on the honor system for buying weapons designed for the battlefield. This brings us to the final spectacular failure. America's gun laws are a complete and total mess. We do not have one system. We have 50, creating a national security strategy that is like a fence made of both steel beams and wet paper towels. A state like California might have a steel beam fence, but someone can just take a road trip to a neighboring state like Arizona with a paper towel fence and buy whatever they want through a private sale. In Georgia, not only are private rifle sales a free-for-all, but the state lets people carry handguns in public without any license at all. Meanwhile, the federal loopholes that let a guy like Cagle arm himself have been sitting wide open for decades. And the one federal agency meant to police all this, the ATF, has been so underfunded and politically choked for so long, it is like sending in one traffic cop to manage a 50-lane pileup. The story in Atlanta was not a tragedy averted. It was a fire alarm that we are all trying to ignore. Billy Joe Cagle was stopped by a brave phone call, not by a smart system. We got lucky. And the thing about luck is eventually it runs out. The exact same systems, the same loopholes, the same blind spots that allowed a convicted felon to get an AR-15 and bring it to the world's busiest airport are all still in place right now.